Here are 3 reasons why you shouldn't be loyal to a company.
Hey friends, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Please take a moment to like this video and subscribe to my YouTube channel. So let me ask you a hard question. When was the last time your job truly had your back? Not a free pizza Friday kind of a way. I mean really had your back when it mattered. When your mental health was suffering, when your hours got cut, or when your layoff started roaming. Because here is the core truth no one talks about loud. Your job is not your family. That company you're breaking your back for, it will replace you in a heartbeat. In this video, I'm diving deep into why loyalty to a company is often one-sided, dangerous game, and why you need to put yourself first. So I've put the stitches together so that you watch. I'll be back share my 2 cents.
Here are 3 reasons why you shouldn't be loyal to a company. Number 1, loyalty is not a two-way street. These companies will cut you off in a heartbeat if it makes sense to on their bottom line. This is not your grandparents' generation where you can work one job for 5, 10, 15, 20 years and retire nicely. Nowadays, you could get laid off. I don't care if you've been at the company 2 months or 30 years. They will lay you off if it makes sense to. Number 2, money. Loyal employees often make 1 to 3% in annual raises if they're lucky, while job hoppers can make a 10, 20, 30, even 40% pay increase if done the right way. I'm not saying you job hop every year, but every 2 to 5 years, you can get a nice pay bump, and you're basically going to be doing the same job. And number 3, loyalty can actually hurt you on your resume. I cannot tell you how many times it's been a red flag that somebody's been at a company for more than 10 years. The hiring manager starts to wonder if they're going to adapt to new software, a new team, a new culture. And that loyalty is often misunderstood for just being complacent and not being driven enough. While people who job hop actually have a variety of skills, they're used to working in a variety of industries, and they have a more varied background, which is often more attractive for employers and hiring managers.
Stop being loyal to companies that are not loyal to you. At the end of the day, companies are businesses. They will act as such. So you need to work on learning how to prioritize yourself. So a company cannot put you in a position where you're suddenly out of a job and desperate. Putting yourself first looks like continuing to apply, go to interviews, and entertain other companies while you're still employed. Putting yourself first looks like documenting your achievements and keeping a backup on your personal computer. Putting yourself first looks like not feeling bad leaving a job when you're offered something better. Putting yourself first looks like actually taking your PTO and never feeling bad for putting you or your family's health before your job. Never let your entire career rest in the hands of one company. Always do what's best for you and follow for more.
Just remember, loyalty doesn't always pay off their work. So if you need to call in for tomorrow because you got something to do, go ahead and do that. Put you first, okay? Because it doesn't always pay off.
Loyalty is not rewarded in corporate America. Do you know what is rewarded? Results. You are demonstrating that you're valuable to the company. You're gonna get paid. And if you're not, you need to leave that organization as fast as possible.
Corporate loyalty is completely dead in 2025. I've been in recruiting for coming up to a decade, and I cannot tell you how many times I've talked to people who have been at companies for 5, 10, 15, even 20 years, and when I compare what they're making compared to other people on the market, they are severely underpaid. This is not the same generation that our grandparents grew up in, where you could work for one company, stay loyal to them, get really good pay increases, and they would reward you. Nowadays, loyal employees get an average of 2 to 3%. That's if they even get a raise. While people who strategically job hop, they can get 20, 30, even 40 or 50% more money. Now, unless your company offers profit sharing or employee stock ownership, it really does not pay to stay loyal to one company. This is a big reason that so many companies have such a hard time retaining their best talent. The truth is, companies say that they value their talent, but they never put their money where their mouth is. The truth is, you're either going to pay your people well, or they'll leave and someone else will pay them.
Here's your daily reminder that being the good Black person at work will never serve you. I've been in corporate America for about 5 years now, and if there's anything that I learned, it's that overperforming and putting on a fake persona to get your foot into certain doors will only nail you to the cross later. And I'm not even gonna blame Black people who do this, because we have learned that we have to code switch to get certain opportunities. But at a certain point, you realize it's like, oh my gosh, at what cost? Because let me tell you what happens. Once you get that job, you are going to be held to the standard of showing up as that person from the interview every damn day. And the moment that you don't, God help you. And I am saying this from firsthand experience that I am currently living. The best advice I've gotten to combat this whole phenomenon of like being held to the like really weird and unachievable standards of personality, manage their expectations from the beginning. And what that can look like is just letting your manager know that, hey, like if I ever look disinterested, that's me processing. It takes longer for me to process things sometimes. So just want to give you a heads up there. It's exhausting that we even have to do that. But as a Black woman, I know firsthand, God forbid that you are a laid back personality, because that will oftentimes be taken as disinterest or even anger. So yeah, keep their expectations on line with who you are from the beginning. That is the best advice I ever got from upper management that is Black. Because when you put on the whole jovial, hi, oh my gosh, when you put on that act in the interview and then you get the job and you know, you're just chilling like me, they do not take your work performance into account. They'll just start saying that you're not a cultural fit, aka you are not showing up in ways that perform to the standard of whiteness in the office. It's hard.
Girl, let me tell you this once. Loyalty to corporate America does not exist. Learn from me. Protect your bag first. Stay loyal to the bag, because I'm gonna tell you why. The corporate culture that I was in was investment banking, and there's some sort of like Kool-Aid that you gotta drink, okay? This is the real truth, and there's a Kool-Aid that you eventually drink that is like, I love this company, I love it. So you kind of don't question anything because it's pretty dope, especially being like the first in your family to be in corporate America, first gen, you know, queer, Latina, whatever, right? As I developed my time in the company, okay, I was there 4 years in total. I remember vividly when my managers had like a one-on-one with me when I joined, and they were like, okay, well, just by the way, like, we don't really talk about our salaries. Please keep that to yourself. Like, don't go around sharing your numbers, because it can be disrespectful to somebody else who might get paid less, la, 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 la. I thought those were the rules. I literally thought for many years that it was illegal to talk about your salary in the workplace. You can talk about your salary and your pay in the workplace. But yo de mensa no sabía. It was the panini. So I had a lot of things on my mind, and one of them was money. And as I transitioned from client onboarding roles to a more tech-centered role, I was like, okay, well, I'm about to get my bag this season. I just felt brave enough because there was no one around me. I was working from home. And the way I went about this was like, hey, friend, checking in. How's your week? I know compensation is around the corner, but I would love to sit down and learn about your pay trajectory here at the company. I'm currently this, and I would love to have a conversation with you. That's one way you can go about it. You can be very direct in a professional way. Or you can be like, hey, I would love to have some coffee time with you. Let me know when you have some availability. We can go get a coffee. And in that coffee meeting, that is when you're going to have these conversations. Like, hey, so I know like most people don't talk about salary, but I would love to know kind of where I'm at. Where do you see myself? And I'm willing to be vulnerable here and share my numbers. I approached my colleague and was like, hey, I know you just joined, and I have been on the team for almost a year, and I would love to know what your compensation is like so that I have a standard. Since you were a recent hire, we were friends, so it was easier to have this conversation. And that's where she told me her salary. She was like, yeah, of course, bet, you know. And then I told her mine, and she was shocked. But of course, respect her bag. She deserves that bag. But it was clearly like very shocking and hurtful to find out that they hired her at 110, and then they were over here trying to offer me like 70. So no.
A job is a relationship, and just like any relationship, when someone's not loyal to you, you're not going to be loyal to them in return. So companies try to scramble and figure out, why can't they retain employees? Why aren't people staying? Why is it that all these Gen Z and millennials, like, they stay at a company for a year and they hop on to the next? I'm in business school right now, and part of what we're learning in our management courses is how to retain Gen Z employees, because it is a known fact that they are not going to stick with a company that is not loyal to them or does not make them feel like they are valued. You have to remember that humans are capital, just like machines or land or whatever it may be that a company owns or utilizes or leases. Human capital is capital. People have to feel valued in order for them to stay somewhere, or they have to feel like their company actually cares about them. And we all see through that now. We've seen so many people getting laid off, especially right now, like at the holidays, right before Christmas, right before New Year's. We're seeing so many people getting laid off from these companies. How do you expect other employees to feel about your company when they're seeing this happen? You're not loyal to us. We're not going to be loyal to you in return. And we're going to be constantly looking for a new job. As soon as we get an offer that's 10K more or that offers better benefits, we're going to go to the next. It's, like I said, just like a relationship. If someone's not loyal to you, you're not going to be loyal to them. If someone treats...
Call comes in, and it's an older lady on the line. And she sounds pretty broken. Like, she sounds very upset, very tired, exhausted. And I started to get her information, start talking to her. And basically, she was on disability. And our company offers short-term disability if you have an injury off the job or on the job. Well, she had an injury off the job. And not to mention, she had been at her job for like 22 years, which is a long time. Her concern was she was afraid that because her job terminated her for being in that position because she was hurt off the job, would she still qualify for disability benefits? And she would, because whether you're working or not, if you have a short-term disability policy, it's best to always know your policy's rules. She still is eligible to pull benefits whether she's working or not. What got me about it is that she had been at her job 22 years and she was an educator. She stayed at her job, kept giving her ultimatums as to you're going to come back to work or you're not going to have a job. A teacher of 22 years. And she said it wasn't that her getting fired, it was hurting her. It was the fact that she built an emotional connection with her children, with every child she ever taught and all the children that she's teaching now. And she said, she started breaking down on the phone, y'all. Like, she started crying on the phone. And she was stating that basically she's just hurt that she'll never get to see those kids again because her county fired her. The board fired her because she had a disability. And she was like, after 22 years, I can't even get a pension or nothing because they fired me. Like, I dedicated my life, everything. They needed me, I was there. Any and everything. Even though she does get disability benefits, it's not as much as she was getting. It's only 60% of her employment, of her, annual or monthly salary. And it's only going to last her a year. That's it. But I just made it my business to tell her that just because she got, terminated doesn't mean she's not an educator. She'll always be an educator. She'll always be a teacher. She can't forget the lives that she's touched during the years and not to let that get to her.
That's a video, guys. I'm just here also to share my 2 cents, like what I think about today's video, why you should not be loyal to your company. A lot of us grew up with the idea that if you work hard, show up on time, and stay loyal, you'll be rewarded, you'll move up, you'll be taken care of. And maybe that was true in our grandparents' era, when people retired after 40 years with a pension and a gold watch. But in this is not the 1960s. We are an age where job security is a myth. Layoffs are announced in emails, and the quiet quitting is just people finally matching their energy to their paycheck. Companies want your loyalty without guaranteeing your stability, and that's not just fair, it's delusional. Let's be real. When you are loyal to a company, what are you actually loyal to? Is it your team, your boss, the CEO you never met, or is the idea that if you give you all, you'll be safe? Because here's the harsh reality. Companies are loyal to their bottom line. It's cutting your job boosts stock prices. They do it. If replacing you with AI saves them money, they will blink. So why are you staying late every night, skipping vacation, burnout, and giving 110% for what? I see so many young people, especially Gen Z and millennials, start to wise up. They're saying no to hustle culture and say yes to boundaries. And yet there's still so many people afraid to make a move because they don't want to seem disloyal. But loyalty in a workplace only makes sense when it's mature. You don't owe a company your soul. You owe yourself peace, health, and growth. When you stay in a job out of loyalty, even when you are undervalued, overworked, or miserable, you're not helping anyone, not your employer, not your coworker, certainly not yourself. You're just putting your dreams on pause for someone else's profit. If you die tomorrow, your job will be posted online before you are in the mortuary. Harsh truth, bad true. Your coworker would miss you, sure, but the work will still go on. That's the reality of corporate life. It doesn't mean you should slack off or do the bare minimum. Be excellent, grow your skills, deliver the results, but do it for you, not that of a blind loyalty. Be strategic, think long term. If a better company or better opportunity comes a long way, take it. Don't hesitate because you feel bad for leaving your team. That company will drop you if they had to, with zero guilty. So stop feeling guilty of doing what's best for you for the future. Let's also talk about burnout. Company loyalty is one of the biggest reasons people stay in toxic places. You tell yourself I'll get better. You don't want to abandon your team. You are worried about how it will look. Meanwhile, you are waking up anxious every morning, questioning your worth and losing your spark. Is that what loyalty looks like? That's not loyalty, that's self betrayal. You're not a machine, you're not a robot built to grind endlessly for someone else's dream. You're a person with goals, dreams, and a life outside of work. And if your job is consuming you, take more than it gives and offering no real growth or appreciation, it's time to leave. Loyalty is beautiful when it's earned and not when it's exploited. This is about being ungrateful or entitled. It's about waking up when you're not in the era of job security anymore. We are in the era of career mobility. That means thinking like a free agent. That means keeping resume updated. That means networking when you're happy in your job, because happiness does not pay bills if it gets away overnight. In a world where people are getting laid off through Zoom calls, when the economy shift can wipe out entire department, your loyalty should lie with yourself, your health, your finances, your peace of mind. And guess what? When you take care of yourself first, you actually show up better in your workplace. You're more focused, more confident, and more empowered. So you have permission to sleep, to stop being a method for your job. Take your sick days, use your vacation, set your boundaries, apply to the roles, build your side hustle, ask for the rise, and they won't give it to you. Go find somewhere else they will. Because at the end of the day, companies will always do what's the best for them. It's time you do what's the best for you. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Have you ever stayed at a job too long because you felt loyal? Did it help you or did it hurt you? And if you made the bond to leave, how did it change your life? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with your friend so that you learn all this. So I was just telling you that don't be loyal to any company, because if they want to lay you off, they will lay you off in a blink of an eye. Because I've seen a lot of people where they were crying. Okay, someone worked for 28 years in a company, but they still laid him off. So they can just easily let go of you. It's very much possible. So always take care of your healthy, take care of yourself. It's very important. So guys, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in my next episode. All I can say for now is bye bye.